This program proudly brought to you by Centrebet, puntersparadise.com.au and Vinery Stud.
Hello again, welcome along to Talkin Thru Your Kick. I'm Russell Barwick, and once again I lost on the weekend, and I'll tell you why very, very shortly. And I'm filthy on a particular AFL team, and I don't think you need too many smarts to guess which one.
Let me guess. Richmond Tigers.
Just Brent Zarafa, hello.
Hello, Russ. Hello, everyone. Good to be here for another week, and spring is not far away. I was at the Randwick Barrier Trials this morning. A couple of very nice horses going around.
Yeah, a couple of Gaze imports went around. You've had some travels. You went to Grafton during the week, and obviously Warwick Farm on the weekend, and a couple of boys who've also had some good times across the weekend. One very smiling Jumps fan, and also Michael Felgate from Centrebet. G'day, boys.
Hello, boys. How you going? Yeah, an intriguing weekend. Good to see some good horses slowly making their way back. And interesting, both AFL and NRL. Rusty, as a Tiger supporter, how could you fall into the boys up in Cairns? They got done there last year, and
Shut up.
You copped your right whack.
Yeah, I got a whack. And Nick Quinn, we are going to give you a whack a little later on. Since last week, you've gone out and changed your wardrobe, but you haven't taken anybody's advice.
Look, fashion's not my forte, so I'm not sure what is. But what about Mickey here? You know, you're backed a loser and he's just rubbing salt in the wound going, oh, geez, I can't believe you backed that.
Yeah, but at least I look good. Now, boys, I don't know if you can see this. It is a brand new suit.
The tag is still there.
He's still got the bloody tag on it. So,
you're supposed to cut that off, you fool.
I was going to return it after the show, but that might be too late now.
Tough weekend for Nick as well. That's despite the $1.01 we were throwing around last night about the rap or slap and his being an S. Pateman. We'll wait and see if that's the case. Rap or slap, who are you?
I'm rapping Laurie Ray, the apprentice from Warwick Farm. She rode a double on Saturday with Mr. Tipsy and Zakynthos imprints. She's certainly doing a very good job and deserves more recognition than she's getting.
And got inside a very smart jockey in the case of Mr. Tipsy. What about you, Michael? Rap or slap?
Rap for me, and another apprentice, Anthony Allen. We saw ride 5 winners on Saturday in Brisbane, and it's only the 6th time a jockey, senior or apprentice, has ridden 5 winners on a day in a metropolitan race. And I know we're going to talk about his 5th winner, Bradbury Luck, a little bit later. Bradbury Chocolate, I should say. Sire Bradbury's Luck. But I've just been informed before the show that he actually is hearing impaired, rides with hearing aids and reads lips. So that could also be very good when you ride one bad. You come back in to talk to the trainer after the race. I'm sorry, mate, I couldn't quite get that. What was that?
Your instructions didn't quite get through to the keeper. And $1.01, I took Stephen Pateman, and surely he's jumped on the Stephen Pateman bandwagon. Nick?
Oh, look, he's just sensational, Stephen Pateman. He rode the double again at Sandown yesterday with the 2 featured jumps races. He's a great ambassador for the sport of jumps racing. I know he gets the best rides, and there's a lot of people saying, oh, well, he's on the favourite and the favourite won. But, you know, he just gives them every possible chance every time he gets on them. And once again, it was great to see a successful day for jumps racing. Well,
someone's got to give him a slap, and I chose me this week, and it is, again, the Richmond Tigers. They'll get about 8 before the show's over. $1. They led by 2 goals with a minute and a half to go, and somehow, and they're probably unlucky that Carmichael didn't get 50 when he got pushed over. So they'll cop another spray before the end of the show. Don't worry about that. Let's have a look at the races, boys, from Saturday. The feature in Melbourne, the Sir John Monash Stakes. Interesting race, a couple of unlucky runs, and plenty of feedback on the Punters Paradise website. Platelet. Did anyone tip that, Michael? You?
No, I wasn't on Platelet, but interestingly enough, Darren Weir, who is absolutely flying, by the way. I think this is the 7th or 8th year in a row he's trained more than 100 winners for the season, so he is a gun trainer. He had 3 horses in the race. Platelet, he quinelled it, and he had another runner called Rue Maple. He was on the radio in the morning telling the punters which of the 3 they should back. Who do you reckon he tipped? Yes, Rue Maple.
Well, Damien Lane, he's another one of these gun apprentices, Brent, and just took to the front at about the 300-metre mark and was all over Red Rover.
Yeah, very good horse, this Plateless. She's had 6 runs this time in. She's a nice filly, and I think she might have a nice break coming up soon, but next preparation, I think she could certainly step up to that top level.
Nick, La Society was the Peter Moody favourite. Looked to be a little unlucky, but she's not a big thing, and Pete said earlier in the day, if she gets knocked over, sometimes she struggles to recover.
And that's the thing with these feature races. You can get some really big fields, and obviously luck in running is a huge part. She didn't have a lot of luck. I think she was probably the one to follow out of the race going forward. She's lightly raced. She's only little. She'll get bigger. And, from the Peter Moody stable, they're probably going to go into bigger and better things.
Oh, there was one other to follow out of the race.
Yeah.
Probably the best horse in the race.
Yes.
Won $2.7 million in prize money back here from Hong Kong, Green Birdie. It was a super run. Drew the outside. They had to ease because he drew the outside barrier. Went back. Ridden for luck, just got none in the straight. I'm not saying he would have won, but a race like the Bletchingley, second up, could be very nice for him.
So you're black booking a horse that's older than I am.
Mate.
And he's got a hell of a lot more money in the bank than you.
We are going to have a look at one of our emails or forum posts about Green Birdie a little later on in the show. What happened to Rosambo, Nick? I was on the 280 and I spoke to Pete Snowden and I was just giggling at the corner, but what happened?
Yeah, a little bit disappointing, but I think Rosambo's a maiden after how many starts now, so might have been a little bit under the odds. But I think tough one going forward. What do you make? Do you sack or do you stick with and give another chance and hopefully win it all back next start?
Well, it was interesting to see in the stewards report there that Stephen Arnold, the rider, said just didn't handle the heavy track. And I think when you watch the replay, he travelled very keen in the run, and then when the time was to accelerate, just couldn't, and it pretty much floundered. I'd be waiting to see it on a dry track before I sack it.
Any hope of getting a steward's report before the day starts rather than at the end of the day? Because I was on Roomaple Lane. Rosambo didn't handle the track. Second effort, handles the track and still couldn't win. Sprung a shoe.
But it certainly didn't live up to the expectation pre-post. 11 into 550, and Glenn Boss said it didn't feel right coming back to scale, which I don't think plenty of punters would have felt too right either.
Yeah. Well, I can name one. Michael...
sorry, Russ, I was going to say they absolutely smashed the second coming, but as you were saying... sorry, not second coming, what was it called? Second effort. And Rosambo also heavily well back, which is interesting, boys. I wanted to ask you, a 2-year-old first time really seen a heavy track, the punters just stepped right in. That's obviously a recipe for disaster.
Oh, it's easy in hindsight. We're all geniuses in hindsight. I think it had the best form going into the race and it looked well placed and the money was on. So, you just got your bookmaker's hat on going, geez, I can't believe they've given me even more.
They've all bought new cars again on the weekend. Now, Glyn and Quinn combined for a winter win with the Winter Stakes and a couple of smart boys around here found the winner, Irish Dream.
Yeah, I wasn't on the winner. I did Starts Me Up though, but the punters were all over this race. You look at the fluctuations, the on-course fluctuations, and the 3 horses that firmed were Irish Dream 18 to 12, See the World 370 to 320, and Starts Me Up 460 to 370. They've run 1, 2 and 3. Everything else blew in the market, and they were a clear ahead of the field. So certainly a race that punters nailed, and this horse was a good performance. Stalked See the World right the way through. Slow tempo, 1400 at Warwick Farm, that can generally happen, but all honest to the winner.
And I think the second horse, boys, See the World, still going places, now backed it up after a 7-day backup. Performed well. He'll probably give it another couple of weeks off and try his hand at a bit of a tougher race in the early spring.
Yeah, he just needs a bit of tempo, I think, this horse. So you could see the way he travelled in the race, he needed a bit more speed. He was settled very close when he usually gets back. So I'd be waiting for a fast run, 11 or 1200 metres.
Okay, Nick and Michael, did either of you decide to go the field in the first leg of the Sydney Quaddie? 103,000, Spinner Witch, first start for 1,000 years and wins, and according to Richie was as fat as a house in the mounting yard.
Yeah, no, unfortunately no field for us, obviously, in the first leg. But listening to the trainer after the race, he gave it a little sneaky chance and think he might have backed it as well. It's got good form if you go back through its career, but first up in over a year, I couldn't find it.
Nick?
I think if you well ahead if you weren't putting those sort of things in your quaddies, But a very impressive win. Hopefully, had a year off. Hopefully has a good campaign now. But a lot of punters have clearly missed the boat, and obviously that's why the quaddie paid as well as it did on Saturday.
But that's the thing. Won like a 6-4 pop.
Yeah, it certainly did. Well, you go back, as Michael mentioned, you go back through a form, and she did run third in a Group 3 Keith Nolan, and also running a Adrian Knox behind Speedy Natalie and Status Quo. So that was back in 2010. 2 years she's only had
those horses now.
Yeah, but they were still, at the time, they were 3-year-old fillies at stakes level. She's not a carnival class horse now, but she did have ability as a 3-year-old. I don't think she was too outside her, what would you say,
place
out of her limits. Yeah, exactly. But it's very hard to find these horses. She trialled okay, but you'd think 2 runs in 24 months. You think maybe 1 or 2 more runs before she finds the best.
Okay, the other big question to come out of Saturday and Sunday indeed, because he got the lead back in the Victorian Jockeys Premiership, and I noticed a quote during the weekend saying that it keeps us both on our toes and nobody's going to get complacent. Luke Nolan, Craig Newitt. Let's go round the grounds. Michael.
Well, you have to stick with Nolan just simply because of the numbers. But as Froggy showed at Caulfield on Saturday, he had I think he had 2 or 3 less rides, and he jumped out of the blocks with an early 2-win lead, and then Luke was able to reel him in. On Saturday, I haven't had a look this morning, but on Saturday prior to the races, it was $1.30 to $3.15.
Yeah.
So, look, you're going to get a good run for your money if you want to take the overs on Froggy Newitt, because he's just riding in sensational form. That race he won on the 25 to 1 pop. They went slow in front. He just outrode them. He's certainly a gun jockey. And I tell you what, he wants to win this really, really bad.
Yeah, I think that Newitt can come from behind. What about you guys?
For me, I'll be tossing the coin. Take your pick. It's too hard to choose for mine. They're both very good riders and they're both getting a lot of support from the Melbourne trainers.
And from a punting perspective, Nick, who have you backed? You're on both, aren't you?
He's got the Quinella running.
I can't see Newitt winning it now. I think Nolan's just got too many opportunities. He gets a full book with Moody support every time he goes around. I think people that backed Newitt about a month ago might have thought that Black Caviar would be running in the July Cup and therefore Newitt would get more opportunities, but it hasn't panned out that way, and I think Nolan's going to win his 3rd straight premiership.
Those people who backed Newitt when they thought the Black Caviar was going to the July Cup is one of them in our Melbourne studio.
One and Quinn.
Big story coming up after the break. We're going to get your thoughts on the puntersparadise.com.au website. Is Bradbury's Chocolate the next takeover target? Coming up next on Talkin Thru Your Kick.